This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your source for the latest Iowa ag news headlines right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. It is a very windy day today, but we are so glad you can join us for today's show on this Wednesday, April 2nd. In today's episode, as always, we'll have the closing markets, this time with Kenan Layden of agmarket.net. As we kick off the show, I talk with Todd Vagts of Channel Seed as we delve into their brand goals for 2025 and beyond. Todd, thanks so much for your time today. Channel Seed, been seeing a lot of changes recently. Tell us a little bit about what's been going on under that brand.
You bet. Appreciate the question. Yeah, within the Channel brand, we are under the Bayer umbrella, but just for our customers that have seen the change over the last couple of years, the Channel brand has been a while, but we've also had several regional brands across the different states. And then just last year, then we brought all those regional brands together underneath the Channel brand. So now we're all working together in that mission with our seed pros locally with our customers. Within that also, we've also expanded our footprint with our agronomists. So we've hired many new agronomists across the region. So we've got a lot better visibility with our customers and with our seed pros. And so that's been a very positive aspect of what we've been doing.
So I imagine with that expansion that you guys have been doing, having everybody under that umbrella with that cohesiveness has probably been, I would say, a big asset to making sure that things go smoothly, right?
Well, absolutely. And then, when we brought the different brands together, we brought some really nice corn and soybean portfolios together. We were able to select the best of those existing portfolios. And so we're really running with some really nice corn and soybean portfolios at this point. Yeah, and then just being cohesive across the region, and it's been a really, really fun endeavor that we've been on.
So you can almost say getting all those brands under the umbrella is kind of making the Channel highlight reel of the seed portfolio, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's been really nice, really fun working with all the new products that we have. And like I said, with the many new agronomists that we've had, our territories have gotten smaller, at least on the agronomy side of things. At least for me personally, I've been able to spend a lot more time out in the field, working with our customers and with our seed pros. And I think so that would be very common across the region with, Iowa and other areas across the Corn Belt as well. So it's been a really fun aspect in that sense.
Yeah, I was going to say with those smaller regions, people might think like, oh, we've got bigger to get smaller. But with that focus, I mean, even within a region, you've got different things, different problems going on. Farm to farm, you've got different problems. So having that more focused control in that one region, very big benefit, right?
Well, absolutely. And, farming is not getting any easier. There's a lot of new challenges that we're seeing, a lot of different aspects, not only just with the product selection for the fields, but all the different things that we can do with those products, the newer technologies that we have, both on the corn and soybean side of things, and understanding how that fits in each of our customers' fields. Having that more of a localized, hands-on approach has been very helpful, and hopefully it's making our customers more successful in that sense.
And then we've been talking about what has been going on up to this point. Looking to the future, what's the goal of the Channel brand?
Well, again, it's just being more on the ground with our customers, probably as I look at the bigger picture of things, and working daily with our customers to be able to help them be successful. Whether it's with the corn, soybeans, or marketing, fertility, you name it. We're there to be able to help out in any way that we can. Really, again, just to make our customers successful.
All right, Todd. Thanks so much for your time today. For anyone who would like to get in touch with Channel Seed, how can they do that?
Well, we have Channel Seed Pros located across the U.S. and across Iowa. If they're not familiar with this Channel Seed Pro, you can just look us up on the web. channelseed.com, and that would be the quickest way, I guess, to find us.
All right, Todd, thanks again for your time. Enjoy the rest of Commodity Classic.
Okay, thank you.
That again was Todd Vagts of Channel Seed. And thanks again, as always, to Meristem and Iowa Corn for supporting our coverage of Commodity Classic. We'll take a look at the closing markets next, but first, here's a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and it's time now to take a look at the closing markets with Kenan Layden of agmarket.net. First off, Kenan, what did we see going on in the grain markets today?
Grain markets were mostly lower throughout the day. Corn, soybeans, and wheat, besides the Kansas City variety, gave back a lot of their gains from yesterday. So really wet in the east, and there's been some concerns for flooding there, but the market seems to be doing the tariff trade, which it has done so many times before, with Trump announcing tariffs, which will be enacted this afternoon. Soy oil continued to rally, so it was up huge again today on that news that the petroleum and renewable fuel councils will be increasing the blend mandate for biodiesel. So kind of mixed across the markets, but overall just anticipating what's going to happen here after the close.
Right, and with that tariff situation, it really feels like at this point the markets have mostly reacted already. I mean, this is the, second or third time that we are kind of having this, here's the tariffs again.
Yeah, you would think the market has reacted to it, but seems to be down a little bit on the day. But like you said, the market kind of came back, so some of that fear might have, been early in the day and been bought back. Interesting though, like bonds started the day off very large, very large gains, and they've since sold off, and the stock market was down, and now it has bounced back. So either someone knows something we don't, or like you said, the market maybe on open overreacted to tariff news, and now it's deciding that it's a non-factor. It's already factored in. It's going to trade it when it actually happens.
And of course, it's never easy to predict how the markets are going to react to anything. Look at the livestock side of things and the cattle and hogs. With focus on the grains, mostly with the tariff news, how are the cattle and hogs handling it?
Cattle just is a train that doesn't stop. Cash has continued to be strong, up again today in the feeders and the live cattle. Hogs kind of, down slightly on the day. Some of that could have been, some of this tariff trade, or, they are affected a little bit more by tariffs. And so as long as we don't get those, maybe we continue to climb here in the hogs, or tariffs, I should say, that don't affect hog exports. I know there was some news that someone from Canada, not the Prime Minister, said that they would like to eliminate all tariffs with the United States. So that's possibly some positive news, but pretty quiet out of the front out of Mexico today if you're looking at the North American trading partners.
And it's not necessarily a tariff, but there was that potential news. There's a proposed rule by the U.S. Trade Representative to add some fees to ships out of China. The ruling is still kind of up in the air on how that would work. But I've seen news on the grain side of things as well. Big increases to prices. Same thing for meat exports that could have a big effect there. What have we heard so far about that? I know the markets probably aren't reacting to it too much yet since it's not an official thing yet.
That one's a doozy. That affects everything, because almost all the ships are made in China. So everything would have a large tax or a whatever you want to call it, fee applied to it. And that's not just grain exports, which would become much more uncompetitive if you're going to be charging that much for a liner. But everything that's shipped on a ship in and out of the United States, from my baby formula for my little guy to iPhones, that would just be something that, if enacted, could be just a huge inflationary pressure that's placed on the American consumer. So that's one of them. Personally, I will leave it when I see it, just because that has so many repercussions for all consumers across huge demographic swaths.
All right, Kenan, lots of great information today. For anyone who would like to get in touch with agmarket.net for more marketing information, how can they do that?
Yeah, check us out on the web and find a broker in your area at agmarket.net.
All right, Kenan, thanks again for the time as always, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Riley.
That again was Kenan Layden of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how the numbers close through the market window at iowaagnet.com. May corn down 4 even at 457 3/4. May soybeans down 4 3/4 at 1029.5. May soybean meal down 5.10 at 287.20. Soybean oil up $1.06 at 48.50. Chicago wheat down 1 1/4 at 539 1/4. Kansas City hard red wheat up 3 1/4 at 568.5. Minneapolis spring wheat down 1 1/2 at 592.5. May oats up 11 even at 366 even. On the Merc, April live cattle up $1.25 at 210.37. April feeders up 60 cents at 288.87. April lean hogs up 7 cents at 87.45. Pork cutout went unchanged at 98.07. And April class 3 milk up a penny at 17.12. Thanks again to the folks at agmarket.net, as always, for their market analysis. We'll take a look at the closing market prices next through the market window at iowaagnet.com. All right. 3, 2, 1. That's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM, and that also brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM PM on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Check out as well our free morning, midday, and closing market podcasts, as well as the Iowa Ag Matters podcast and Pods of Potential. You can find those on your favorite podcasting service at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Podbean, or once again on our website at iowaagnet.com under the podcast tab. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Andy Peterson, and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.